Yeah, thank you very much. We are now in parallel universes, but we are all together. So I'm so excited to see you all together. This is one of the most important steps that I think of our journey. I'm sure that we will be all together in the future, but in this case, in my country, in the world, in this difficult time, it's difficult to find the hope. Now we are working, we are feeling, we are creating together, and this is a big chance. I feel myself very lucky to know you. I want to thank to Köşk, to Katrin especially, to put us together. As you see, Katrin, this is a big family, and we find a way to be together all over the world. But it's important to be in a space such as Köşk, an independent art space, and to be a part of this adventure. So I would like to thank to you first, and then Rhythm Section and all my friends, all the artists who accepted to be a part of this project. And I think, as you said, Oleksiy, it's the maybe one of the first steps that we will create together new communities and grow up together, and to be in a larger community in the future. Thanks to art, thanks to imagination, thanks to courage that we have, and the hope that we are creating together. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you.
beautiful words. Thank you. We are sad that you're not here and we couldn't actually like spend this time together. Like for me also was a moment like in the beginning of last week when we knew that you won't come. But as you said, we keep on hoping, and there will be the moment when when we will meet and also spend time together here or wherever.
Whatever. So now we are all together. We have Rhythm Section, we have Karşı Sanat, we have Köşk, we have Riwar Collective, we have Concernists. We are individually together, but also we are a group of collectives. So this touching point is very important for me, because maybe Nasser he saw Oleksiy for the first time. These are magic moments that maybe will create some new words to open and to grow up together. So maybe first we can begin to discuss about the topics of the exhibition. And we are two curators, and we had two different point of views, but at the end we created a common dream. I want to ask the first question to Katrin, what she hoped first and what she found at the end of the installation, what she found in the spot at the end of the days, of these difficult days also.
Also the difficulty, what did you like?
Difficulty of setting up the exhibition.
So for me, it was also very interesting as it was something that was created in space. It was like a very bespoke work, because the things that we see on the wall I didn't knew before that this will be the result. So it's always super exciting and interesting when a work is kind of like dealing also with the space and is reacting on the space. And then I also thought that it was like super interesting, the videos that I didn't knew before. And I haven't seen before, that was kind of like another level of the exhibition that I in this way didn't expect. So it was also like these surprising moments, I would say, they were the ones that impressed me the most. Difficulties, I don't know what, and also what I understood is that it's a lot about like these bases, how I understood when I met also Oleksiy a few years ago about Rhythm Section, that it's about this about the rhythm in the visual art, but also like this coming together and the relations that are so important and that are like the two big bases of the work of this collective work. So this is what I saw also here, the group working together. So having like occasions and moments to travel somewhere and then meet again, and this like over a lot of years, as I understood. So there's like one of these main things, and I like after studying myself fine arts, I also like running then a residency. For myself, I understood that this connection and the dialogue and sharing thoughts, knowledge, human relation is one of the most beautiful parts in the field of arts, I would say, apart from all of the aesthetics and the concepts and the power it has in in society, in the world. But yeah, like the main thing or one very important thing, because you also before you were talking about hope, is this human beings coming together. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we are always talking about the rhythm of the group, the rhythm of life, but a life shared between friends. So I think maybe my space, Karşı Sanat, and your space, Köşk, they are sisters and they are sharing the same rhythm. And this is the point that we moved from to build this exhibition. And we are with Ulaş working on this, developing the shared rhythms between communities and to how to create resistance with this rhythm. So maybe he can also add something about the concept. Önce genel çerçeveye dair bir şey söyle.
Hi again. It's a pity that we couldn't be there, but we don't lose our hope. So I've been thinking about rhythm before I met with the rhythm section, because I believe that collective hope has also a rhythm, because what we understand from rhythm, it seems like a simple word, simple concept, but it's a deep concept, I think, because first it involves the movement. I mean, if we are speaking about a rhythm, there has to be a movement, like the waves of the sea or the flow of a river. We have to move. Despite everything, all the problems, all the crises, the movement has to continue. The show must go on. So rhythm has to have a movement. Secondly, it's not only a movement of with stops, with breaks, but there has to be also a stability. I mean, a movement with a stability. It's not like a sparking light. It's on and off, on and off. No, it has to have a stability for it becomes a rhythm. And thirdly, what concerns us is that, like I was speaking about the waves, rhythm as a source of political hope has to have a collective identity. I mean, as a person, we can have our own rhythms, our own individual lives, but for it has to be a collective. It has to have a collective character, so that it contributes to the concept of hope, or to the source of hope. So I believe that rhythm has a movement. So there's a movement there. It as a stability. I mean, we were in Greece and all together now in Munich, and who knows where in the next episode. So there's a stability, there's an ongoing process, let's say, and we're together. It's not only me, Ezgi, or others. We are all together. So what I see in this section of rhythm, there's the movement, there's the stability, and There are you. I mean, we are all together here. So I think that's
you.
what I can say for the moment.
That was really interesting to hear. If one looks at in nature, there is always a kind of an equilibrium. So you have in nature the kind of model of a kind of, there is always an order. There are certain, not rules, but there are structures in nature. But within that, you have a complete flow and a counterbalance of things happening. And in Mondrian, the Dutch artist Mondrian, he referred to the activity of making art as being not about replicating or making images of nature, but as a kind of an equal activity, so that the art is a dynamic equilibrium. Nature is a dynamic equilibrium, and also art is a dynamic equilibrium. And in that process, every element has its own kind of equal right. So it's interesting in a painting, this color, that color, whatever shape you put, they're always in counterbalance, but they have an equality about them. And you can draw the same analogy to nature, that every element in nature has some kind of equal purpose. And then the second point I wanted to make is that this goes back to maybe the 1920s and 30s, and in a way where we are economically is analogous. It's very similar. Roosevelt in America at the time, there was a contraction. All the wealth, the power was contracting back to a center of people, whether they are on the left, the right, they are controlling and they're restraining. But what they're restricting is flow. And what FDR Roosevelt understood was that even from a capitalist point of view, that society cannot function unless you have flow. So the whole purpose of any economic system is to have flow. And coming back to your point, that flow creates rhythm. It keeps life moving. It becomes happy.
Michael, when you are talking about the flow, I was thinking about the work of the Concernists. Vuria and Nasser, they are here and they create a personality in flow. They work together. They are two person or more. We could not understand on the video, but they are talking about the forms and the flow of the forms and maybe the identity. Maybe they would like to add something about their videos or the concept of the exhibition.
So, yeah, I think first of all, I wanted to add to what Michael and Ezgi and the others said, that we're here as a collective, and Concernists Collective, also a bigger collective that we can hear them now. And talking about individual artworks, maybe it's not really our concern, but to just backing up the idea of collective and the idea of the rhythm and a dream, I'm going to talk slightly about our work. Basically, we chose shadow because we all know the importance of shadow, from Plato to the recent philosophy and even mythology and everything. So we believe that any dreams need to be tangible in order to be believed sometimes. As idealists, I've been always blamed to live in my dream and forget about the real life. But what is real life? It's abstract meanings that have dimensions. Like border is an abstract thing, but people get killed because of it, because it has dimension. So we started to think about how we can give dimension to our dream. A small space that four of us, it was four of us on that podium. So we try to share the small podium, and just the act of sharing and taking care of each other. It was the act that we believed that it could be metaphor for a bigger picture. And we only wanted to present the shadow and give it dimension and even give it logic and mathematics. So we named the artworks in a weird way of sort of a mathematical form. Sorry. And we believe that collective hope needs collective memory. And by doing this exhibition and talks and things like this, we're gaining that memory, and we can rely on that collective memory to create collective hope. I think that's all I can add to what you guys said. I don't know, William, if you want to say something.
No, you said that all. You got it to the point. I think we are collective and we are one person in that artwork. That's why I don't need to add something.
And Mehmet is there. I can see him, and in his work, we have these layers between the culture and the nature. Maybe this is another point of view to all this rhythm. And I know that this installation is made on the nature. Maybe when you saw the video, you think that it's made on digital with a digital technology, but it's a manual work. It's a sculpture. So I would like to ask to him about his work and his approach to this concept, to be together about the collective memory, geography, and collectivity.
Ben Türkçe konuşacağım. İngilizce biraz heyecanlıyım. O yüzden biraz zor gelecek. Parya tercümesini yapacağım.
So he says, I will speak in Turkish because I'm a little bit excited. So I'm afraid that my English wouldn't suffice. So she's gonna translate for me. So he says, I first thank you for Riwar, Ezgi, and the Rhythm also collectives for inviting me. And this is the first time I met them, and it's amazing. Then I interrupted him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Then I interrupted.
So he says all the artworks, the videos, the works on the wall, all of them are so connected to each other collectively. So for me, it's like an amazing experience to see all of them together, and they have a language and they are connected to each other.
Ve güzel tartışmalar yaptık bayağı.
And we had nice discussions together. So he says, like the common point of Kurdish artists, we mostly produce videos as artworks, and we are doing the artworks in nature because our point of view to see the world is very connected with the nature. That's why it's always in common, in public spaces when we do our work. Okay, so he says, as a Kurdish artist, and speaking of all Middle Eastern artists, so I think we are continuing the Barbizon Ecole. I don't know what that is, sorry. So yeah, it's like we continue the way they were actually interacting with the nature. So he says, when I was producing this artwork, so instead of one image, I tried to like produce a lot of images because like the system of the nature and us, it is like connected to each other and also separate, and it separates us from the nature. So with all the images I had there, actually like there's a wall that separates us from the nature, but it turns and we see like the nature from behind, and in the mirrors I also can see myself. So this is like a very connected and separate system actually. Yeah, I think that was it all.
Bu kadar. Teşekkürler.
Teşekkür ederiz. So we talked about the shadows and then the mirrors to create plural images. So maybe when we come to the movement on the space, I would like to give the speech to Anet Sandra, because she made also something really amazing by taking a play and to make us think about all power relations in public space. It's a brilliant idea. I think I like very much the video that she made and everything she makes. But especially in this concept, the rhythm of the people playing with this ball and avoiding the crash. What you were searching for, and what is the relation with the concept and your special work?
Oh my God, thank you very much. It's so amazing to hear all of these words. I'm really excited right now. And first of all, thank you for your invite, by the way. I'm really happy to see you all here. Yeah, my artwork is not separate from the rhythm, actually. I bring the music and rhythm together, and I looked for the power of the relations in the public space. So I have a little copies here. I want to read from it. Forgive me for that. The work named tHoog in the exhibition I cried in the year 2023 while I was writing my master thesis, which focused on the performance of the perpetration and the representational forms of the state violence, actually. In fact, the video is directly related to the past genocides and the crimes that Turkey has not been able to come to terms with, face with. We don't have to take it only from a human-centered point of view. Actually, I'm talking about the all kinds of crimes. The video's names come from tHoog. tHoog is a composition technique that means both escape and repetition. It's a 4-channel video centered around the perpetrator's performance of constructing and sustaining the self. These videos were structured based on the general rules of the tHoog. You can imagine or you can think about the Bach's tHoogs maybe, about the composition technique. Each video, like a few compositions, enters the frame in the same way at specific intervals and continues by questioning different possibilities of escape. There's a metaphorical similarity between the collective escape and practiced by the actors and the perpetrator's practice of evading responsibility. As you know, perpetrators, when unwilling take the responsibility, deny everything to no matter what and contract their agency upon a kind of performance. They behave just like players who want to stay in the game at all costs and avoid paying any price. And when someone telling them they should leave the game is far from what we would expect from a grown-up taking responsibility. At this point, I want to share a brief memory from the filming process. It was really a great moment for me. One of the players, maybe because she's tired, I don't know, she touched the ball while escaping as a group. Normally, this is the point, this is the moment when the player is supposed to leave the game, actually. She looked at me at that moment. We stopped the camera and we start to create a new escape scenario. Sometime later, the same person touched the ball again, but this time she continued without making eye contact with me, with the camera. That little moment when she touched the ball, by the way, that moment is in the video. When you watch the video, you can see that moment. I add this moment in the videos because indeed, as it turned out, she was no longer playing the role of someone who didn't take responsibility. At that moment, she didn't take responsibility herself. That was an amazing moment for me. I'm so sorry for that. while you are watching the video, you will hear a more structured and layered version of what I have just shared with you. With each video, they have two verses in Turkish and English, placed one after the other, making the Daniel theater you are witnessing even harder to watch and understand. I can express myself and my video like this. If you have a question, I can answer from my heart. But thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you.
I want to connect now to what Ulaş said about movement. And if we look at videos, your videos and the others' videos, you immediately understand movement. And we can learn from it. But now I would like to talk about movement while painting or drawing, because you see the result and you can imagine the movement behind, but you cannot see it like we saw it because we walked together on the spot. So I saw how Veronika, Michael, Thomas, and Daniel walked and moved while walking. And now I'm curious to listen what they say about the movement. So probably we start with Daniel, and also I want to say thank you so much the rhythm section in Munich, because we had the heat and it's not warm. It's a really fucking warm, here now. And we walked like on the border to die, everybody, but we fix it. So and even Thomas get ill, and Daniel almost. So, but anyway, we did it, and probably you can say something about your work.
I don't know if it's only about my work, because the interesting point for me in this situation, when we have this here with rhythm section, is more the thing that we create together, what is happening. I think there are maybe two major goals we are working on, because we have this focus on rhythm or movement in visual arts, which is we all have in common, and I think it is necessary to make these connections between artists, between groups, between collectives, to make a step further in art. Because what is art about? Art is also, it is about communication, and it is about to avoid stagnation, I think, not staying on one point. So this is a major goal from the point of view when it comes to art, that everyone is having a profit to develop his or her art, and even our all collective art as maybe a collective of collectives. But on the other hand, a major goal is, I think, that we have to make progress in making connections between artists, making connections between cultures, between countries, and it is about breaking boundaries, and all what happens around. You can't watch it all over the globe. It doesn't matter if you look to Turkey or Germany, and I think it is a responsibility for us artists as well to making these bridges, to breaking these boundaries that are built up everywhere. And so I think there's still a lot of work to do, but we just started, and I'm curious where we're going to go.
Yeah, in this exhibition, the line comes out because almost if there is too much confusion, yeah, it makes no sense for me to make another drawing, because I had to do a lot of drawings to stop, and then to stop this narrative themes, I mostly decide this line because this line is the possibility to stop all these narratives and this line includes nearly everything, nature, all and nothing, because you have all in this one line, all this is just like this infinitive line, every ornament, every thinking, everything. And you have this, the line makes visible this invisible. So the line invites you also to start to think about all or everything and creates a new space. And and in this time when you're looking on this line, you have you clear up. That's what if I do this line, I clear up everything in my head for it. And in this case, I used also tape because I wanted to avoid this distance to the other works and also to this space. And that's why I hide it a bit also about the material with this spray. I try to keep more connected because, to avoid the distance to the other works or to the space also. And what I like in this exhibition is that we used all green. And it was like you told me when you came in, you thought it's all of one artist. And this is really great because we are a lot of artists here and it seems like one artist. That's really cool, I think.
That was my first impression as well. I thought it's like one artist.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, can you speak or you're so ill?
I can speak. But I would like to invite Michael to add something in case he wants, because we worked collaboratively this time. So if you want to say something, I will say a few words and maybe you can join if you are interested. First of all, I would also like to thank everyone for their works. It was really nice to see the setup exhibition. For me, it was a little bit exhausting in the end to set up on the last day. Now I'm very tired and exhausted because of it, but I'm really happy to have been able to see the finished exhibition before I went in my sickness mode here. I was working for the last days. I was talking and working a lot with Michael, and I think one thing that has been crossing my mind a lot in this exhibition was that there are always all of these things or complications or even good things around us that we always have to deal with when we make art. And I think this is something in general that's very important for me making art. For me, art in general is a way to deal with the problems and issues that are surrounding me all of the time. And I think that in general, there's a problem with how we deal with objects around us if we are not considering them as part of a huge hierarchy that is also surrounding us, because we are constantly kind of attacked by the visible and invisible things around us. I'm referring to thoughts like the ones of Gilles Deleuze or Michel Foucault when I say this. When we have a organization around us, no matter in which form, we at some point internalize it so much that we are part of the same hierarchy mechanisms. And for me, it's always so important to try to figure out how to deal with these problems, not only within myself, because I have the feeling that I have to do it within myself first in order to be able to change it outside of me. But also in this case, I try to deal with it together with Michael, which means we both have these mechanisms inside of us, and these mechanisms have to kind of cope with one another so that we are able to do this. And for me, it's always a very good experience to talk about things like this together or in a bigger group, also not just with Michael, but also with all of the others that were there. Also now is another, like this progress is going on now that we are all talking together. Also, if it's just online, I would love to do it in person one day, but it's also really nice to have this talk now. And for me, all of these experiences are what caused the result that is now seeable in the exhibition. And I think it's a long process, and I'm not sure if the work like it just shows one small part of this process, and I think it will go on for the next years. I don't know. Maybe Michael can add something to this. I would like to hear what he's thinking about it.
I mean, working with Thomas or Oleksiy and also working with Henriëtte, it's been really, I think I'll use an American phrase, incredibly discombobulating, because exactly what you were saying, Thomas, that we carry so many prejudices, hierarchies or whatever. So I think one of the most powerful and wonderful experiences, even me, I'm 70, you know, I'm constantly being challenged by working with another artist. There are so many unconscious prejudices, habits you have as an artist. And even if you work at it intellectually, what you were saying about, first of all, you have to deal with it in yourself. But actually, it's very difficult to deal with it in yourself. It usually happens like in a good relationship. Most of us grow because we are forced in a relationship with somebody else to have to kind of step out of ourselves. They can see our shadow self, our prejudices. All that can be seen by the partner more clearly than we can see ourselves. So I don't think it is possible for us to actually progress individually unless we take that risk in collaborating or listening to another human being. So on that point, and sometimes the communication is not clear. So Thomas is a really excellent communicator. He's one of the brightest guys I know, so it's a privilege to work with you. And we took this little corner here, and my instinct, being typical male, I think I want to fill it. You know, I'm going to fill it with me. God, what a tedious human being. Thomas restricts me. He says, no, we can't, no. So we end up eliminating things and removing things. And so for me, it was a real profound revelation working with Thomas, because it really dawned on me more clearly how he was relating to the environment. It's not a neutral environment. It's an environment. Every little mark, every little action that has previously happened in that space, he is hyper aware of it. And I begin to see the world through Thomas's eyes. And then so we have this very minimal amount of work, but really the composition continues round the wall, and we signed it down here because Thomas wanted clearly for people to think, no, this is an artwork, an egotistical kind of implant on the space. It's an activity which activates the space in a kind of phenomenological way, and then causes the viewer maybe to become more aware of the whole space. So this for me, thank you, Thomas, was my understanding from working with you. Thank you so much. There is a Dutch core of, we call them, I suppose, constructivist artists, non-figurative. It's concrete art. And this also was for me a profound revelation. Many years ago, 30 years ago, I came in contact with Henriëtte, and she introduced me to the Dutch artists. And at that stage, I was absolutely shocked by their insistence on working so minimally with so little in terms of material, also their obsession with geometry and repetition. So it was a completely alien culture to me. But anyway, over the years, Henriëtte, you could not put two more opposite human beings together. She is atheist. I have a sort of Catholic background. I'm interested in spirituality. I generate loads. She is much more analytical and kind of clear about a few things. So two totally opposite personalities and cultures, we had to work together. And this was also extraordinarily interesting. So I like this idea of one and one makes three. You put one thing together with a second thing, two people together, and a third thing is created, which neither could have created alone. So this occurred 30 years ago. So we've worked like this for a long time. So she is always wanting to produce something new. I think it's interesting from her personal history. Her history is very difficult. From the war years and from many things in her life, she was always looking forward. So she always wants to create something new. So to speak for Henriëtte a little, I think her idea of art is that it liberates her from the past. It gives hope for the future. And always there is so much possibility in art for something new to happen. And then I think it's at a deep level, we are always needing to be confronted by something which disturbs our familiarity and pattern of seeing. That we all kind of, in one sense, scan the world and operate within a whole series of prejudices and expectations. So what I learned from Henriëtte and from those guys is a kind of hypersensitivity to how just putting two colors together, putting a color in a space, how it can create a kind of phenomenological kind of shock to the system, which suspends the normal flow of behavior, and you re-see the world again.
As Cezanne said, you can speak about painting only in the front of painting. So I did painting here and with people based on rhythm, you know, and you have to see it.
If maybe the discussion about the different paintings and the goal you achieve in painting, that's just another discussion.
Well, it's not, of course, it's another discussion, but I mean, I work with the visual language. I'm not good in speaking and writing, but my language is painting.
I just want to add that after hearing about the works of rhythm section team, I found a connection between the soul of the place of Köşk and the works of rhythm section because of their hospitality. And they not have the apathy of fulfill the space, but to give space to emptiness, or also give a void to invisibilities. So I think this is the relation between the works and the spirit of the space, not to fulfill the space, but to open it as it's possible to the new comings, and the hospitality of the forms and the hospitality of the politics of the space are very impressive for me. And I would like to thank you again for everything and to give this chance to express ourselves and to be together.
So the Köşk is a place for different people who like to make some art projects. Because in Munich, it's not so easy to find. Usually you have galleries, but here it's more a room for try and error projects. And it's free entry and free space and easy to come and easy to live. So a free place.
And maybe like one thing, it's also like, it's of course there is like a community behind, it's open, everybody's welcome, but one part that it's also kind of like very significant for the space is that it's not so defined. It's not so, maybe not so clearly readable, because it's on the crossovers of different disciplines also. So there is like, sometimes there's people who ask to do something here because they want to give a lecture because they wrote a book about, I don't know. Then there is a lot of concerts happening. There's like exhibitions, but not always in this classical way. It tries to like give space also to these crossovers of disciplines. And also, as you already said, this part of invisibility, I think also, as we are politically in a time where it becomes more and more important also to give to the queer community spaces. It's also something that is very by the people who are running the space. It's super important to have that in mind and to open the space up for that, to give also like, so it has a lot of kind of like, it's kind of also like a safer space in a certain way, but it's not just one thing. It's like these very, somehow also maybe not so clear, but that is also the positive thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's why I said that you look like these artworks. They are not boundaries, they are not concrete or completed things, but they are emptiness, and that's why the meanings are open to upcoming futures and new identities.
Yeah, and maybe also one part that is also important, it's like self-organized somehow. So the people come and they kind of find the space. There's maybe a certain rules, let's say, but it's not like like this concepts of a gallery or whatever. People come and they say, okay, now for this time, it's kind of like our space. We are respectful what is here with the things, and but in the end, it's really like to give also a lot of freedom to use the space in the way to show yourself in the way you like.
So maybe we
Yeah,
can talk
so
about also Riwar Collective, and we are a part of this collective, Paria and me and Nasser and Buria.
Riwar Collective is consisted of Iranian artists. They are working collectively. Some of them live in Europe. Some of them are still in Iran. They're artists, politically active, all of them. So then they decided to have a collective workshop, arts work with Ezgi Hoca. Then they came to Istanbul. And we were there at first, like, I don't know. Then it was like, I don't know, at first we were like 30 people or something, 25 or something. Then as we like continued, we were like a handful of people left because so we started to talk about like the mutual problems in Turkey and Iran, first of all. So then we had a lot of discussions. God, they tortured us there, really. Like Nasser, Reza, like we were talking about the subject, the main problems like animal rights, women's rights, oppression, blah, blah, blah, blah. But they were not satisfied. So we went very deep on the conversation about the system, how the system does this, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then we were having it, I think we were working together for 5-6 days in the collective. So we were having a conversation all day. Then we went out in the streets to actually collect the materials. So we were walking in this park, Gezi Park, that they had like a big uprising there. Then we went to Kasımpaşa. It's a very ghetto. It's like the worst ghetto now. Like it's like gentrification is so like visible there because like there are Kurdish people there, and they're like also like colored people from all over the country, but like they're very poor, uneducated, systematically, consciously by the government actually. I don't want to go very deep there, but it's like a very ghetto place. So we went there, we just walked, then we started to like tear everything we saw in the street. We collected like stones, posters, flags, I don't know, like bread, and all kind of stuff that we could find. Then we made an installation together with 3 videos. So the video was kind of like a coincidence, I would say, because we were going like through all the videos we had. So there was Özcan abi, you know Özcan abi in Karşı Sanat. So he just picked the video that we were lifting the posters to make an installation. And in the end, that was our artwork. And we had a conversation. Sorry if it takes too long because it was a long process. So then there was like, what is this posters? Like there was also like another uprising. Remember, like it was like 1 week before we were having this collective workshop. Then like we were discussing how the new generation now in these protests are connected, or they even realize the protest in Gezi Park. So we started to collect now what we experienced there and what their parents experienced is Gezi, no? Mm-hmm. So we connected those to each other. And like you see the posters and you see like the kind of a subtitle that goes on. And it's like, those are the words that were like way before in Gezi protests, mixed with our project. So that was all the video, yeah.
There is one other video which has not been talked about yet, which is like a large stage with multiple activities which are in a loop.
This is the video of Özkan.
It's a really powerful piece because
Yeah.
it's like a constant sense. It reminded me very much of Samuel Beckett, where there is a play in which three individuals, I mean, Daniel said it and several other people said that kind of hell is a form of inertia. Life is about flow. And then this Beckett play, and Beckett was always fiercely true about the human condition, where each of these individuals is in a giant pot. And they're talking like they have freedom. They are talking about what they're going to do or how they will change. But obviously they're in this pot. There is no movement. So for all the talk, there is a kind of an inertia. The film reminded me of that the repeating actions of each individual had this absurd sense of being stuck either in a political or in some emotional space where there could be no change, no alteration. I thought it was an extraordinarily powerful piece, and it reminded me very much of this Beckett sense of people being stuck in inertia, which is a kind of hell.
Yeah, Michael, he is Özkan Işık. Unfortunately, he could not be with us because he is on a plane now. And he's working on gender issues in generally and how the rhythm is in ordinary life creates the gender identity and the body. So as you said, we can see this Beckettian word, but inside how the male identity is created by the society. So see you again, and
See you.
I hope you will come.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice to meet you all.
Meet you.
Pleasure seeing you all. Hope to see you soon.
Hope to see you. Bye.
Bye.